done part of the other side, but I want to show you what I'm just kind of holding up the 1.5-inch side to the rector square, and just a light little line go along to the next spot. Put that line in. You can either do it both sides or one side. And if you look down, it's a pretty consistent line, even wise, as good as you're going to be able to get the edge of the 3-inch tape. So let me go ahead and finish this and we'll come back. I decided I'm going to bring the, where's the tape back here? I want to bring it down to the end and then taper it along the seam edge here. So that's where I'll put my blue tape, is in here, and I'll trim it along there, and I should be able to sand the rough edge, the bitter edge of the tape flush with the side, so when I put on the other cloth over the top of it, it should fare in. And there's enough curvature on the bottom here that this should be more than enough area for the tape, extra tape on the bottom, to absorb some any wear and tear you might have. Up on the very top here, I don't think so, unless you bump into logs or docks or whatever, or other boats. But it should be strong enough to protect itself. It's heavy, 2 layers of plywood, probably 3/4 of an inch of fairing in behind, or easy fillet, and then it's got a nice arc of easy fillet, hard as a rock right now, on the outside, so that should be a nice bumper. So let me go ahead and mix up some epoxy and do this. It doesn't take that long, so I might as well go ahead and do it. It was about 20 after 2 when I started mixing the epoxy, so we'll see how long this takes. I don't think it'll take more than half an hour at the most. I guess it helps to put a line on both sides, then it gives you a really good idea where the outer boundary is on this side. I'm making small batches of epoxy, so it flows and good, and absorbs into the wood. And try not to get too carried away, get drips on the spot that you don't want. And you have to sand them off. But that's easier said than done. It just takes a little bit of epoxy on the edge of the rim, about a minute to slide down and drop off the edge onto the work, and you completely forgot about it. Okay. Give yourself a little bit of overlap. We'll trim that off after it cures. Right now, just worry about getting the one side on the line. Okay, do this towards the other end. Get back over here. Just gently push it down in a sweeping motion, so you're taking the excess material down to the end here. Once you get down here, with the excess, it'll narrow, the tape will narrow in, so keep an eye on your lines. This is basically what we're going to do when we put the cloth on, but without the epoxy underneath. We're going to be going end to end, smoothing. Okay, now I can start down and start wetting it out. Start wetting out along the center line on the keel itself, and then let the epoxy flow downhill. Not a lot of pressure. This is also my last toothbrush. I had a huge pile of them. Now I'm going to have to start going collecting or buying brand new ones again. Go along and get as much as you can, wet it out, or proceed anyway ahead of the line so that any of the excess will start wicking out. You also want to get this center down so the sides won't try to take control. Watch your edges. We can make some more. Well, I'm done, and it's about 10 till, so it took me 30 minutes to do this, plus answer a phone call that they hung up. Okay. Other thing too is down here I put in some extra, dribbled on some extra epoxy on this part on the bow here, because the weave starts standing really kind of like lizard skin. You know, it really stands up as opposed to being very thin, so it's a good time now. Sometimes I'll take fairing compound and rub it in with my gloved finger just to fill in some of the voids in there so that the glass we lay on next will fit over it smoothly. So that being done, I'll go ahead and clean up, and we'll call this a day on this part, whether or not this is the end of the section or not. On the transom here, just take your rasp and rasp off and round over. Any of the glass cloth that was sticking in there. We'll put a little bit of fairing compound in here just to smooth it in, but I don't think it really needs any. Let me go back to sanding off the edges of the selvage on the sides of the tape, and we'll get back when we start putting the fillet or the fairing compound in. You can see along in here how rough the edge is, and that's what they call the selvage, and this is what we'll be scraping down so it's smooth again. And then down here, what do we got in here? Yeah, I've tapered in the edge here and smoothed it over so it fares in, so when I lay the glass cloth over here, it'll flow nice and smooth. Okay, we're into the fairing part now. I've gotten a lot of the way down. And I'm using the slow fair. And I'm finding I'm picking up chunks from somewhere. I don't know whether it's out of my bag, could be, or from the scraping the edges on the container. You can see I'm getting a chunk there, so go ahead and completely clean off the edge of the tool. And it should fare in as much as it needs as you go along if you have enough material. Going to get a little more problematic in through here as you have a little bit of arcing right in here. And the chunk again. Yeah. Okay.